What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome to the office pool, man. The regular season is over, Alex, and we have a special guest in the building.
That's right.
We've got Coach Brandon Negron with the Carolina Cobras. For all of you guys that are familiar with arena football, this is one of the coaches and president.
Yes, sir.
Of the franchise, man.
Yes,
Coach,
sir.
welcome to the office pool, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Look, making this new year a lot happier.
I appreciate it. I
Yeah,
appreciate
man.
the invite, fellas. Thank you so much. And office pool viewers, thank you for having me.
So tell me about the progress. How are we looking? How are the Cobras fans looking?
You know, I think the Cobras fans are going to be really excited about 2025. This is the 7th year for the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
We won a championship in 2018. I think we'd all agree we're long overdue. But from a coaching standpoint, I've gone a little bit of a different direction, bringing in some new faces, which I think is good. I think, sometimes organizations have to transition to new faces, new rosters, but I'm mixing it in with veterans that the fans, they well know who they are and people that are, or players that are dedicated to Greensboro and the community. And so I think it's a strong mix that's going to bring a lot of surprise to the NAL. The league's a little bit different now. There's new teams in the league. There's teams that the fans of the NAL that they're watching, Omaha being a 2-year champion. And so I think for the first time, the Cobras are not necessarily on everybody's radar.
We're the underdog this year.
And that's just the way I like it. It's just the way I like it.
Yeah. So there have been a couple of milestones that are going to be happening in Greensboro with the Carolina Cobras this year. One of which is we are the longest running arena football team in Greensboro at the now First Horizon.
First Horizon, yeah. And I'm really proud of that, Deron.
Yeah.
And arena football is tough. Organizations unfortunately fold. That's as common as them playing, right?
Yeah.
But we've persevered. We struggle like any organization. We have our ups and downs, but we're on the up. And you look at the league right now. You have 10 teams, and we're, the founding member, right? Columbus was in the NAL, but they left. We never left.
Yeah.
And we're here.
They're back now.
They're back now.
Yeah.
They're back now. We're going to
Okay.
renew that rivalry and remind them what it was like to be in the NAL before they left. But, Cobras have been here, since the beginning.
Since 17.
Yep.
And we have also gotten a we've got like a farm team.
We do. So this is the first year that the team, we partnered with the Carolina Predators, the AL2.
Mm-hmm.
AL2 league is a developmental league by nature. It's not a league that necessarily compensates players. It gives the players an opportunity to build film, and learn the game, learn the indoor game. A lot of these guys come from outdoors, never played indoor football before. So we partnered with them. They're based out of Wake Forest, and it's exciting, right? So if there's a roster issue during the season, injuries, whatever it may be, I now have a farm team I can lean on. Nice. Vice versa, when we get out of camp, if we like a guy but we can't sign him at the time because of our roster limits, we can offer him the opportunity to play at the Predators and say, hey, keep working, and we'll come down and check on you in a couple of weeks.
That is exciting, Coach.
Yep.
It makes me feel good to be one of the owners.
Yes, sir. That makes me feel good too, man. That makes me feel good too.
Yeah. We've been going back and forth with this thing and getting the facts right for the city of Greensboro to understand that this is a professional sports franchise.
100%.
This is not a semi-pro team.
No, it's not.
So when the tickets go on sale, by the way, which is we've already done the season ticket rush.
Yeah, season tickets already happened. Single game tickets go on sale January 13th, Monday.
Yeah. Single game tickets go on sale Monday.
Yes, sir.
Do they go to the
straight to the Cobras website, which will lead you to the Ticketmaster link, or you can go direct through Ticketmaster. First Horizon Coliseum's already sent out an email blast about pre-sale and stuff like that. It's really exciting. Yeah.
Okay.
Looking forward to it.
Well, the other thing that people don't understand is if we are accustomed to being in the postseason.
We are.
We only missed 1 year.
Yes.
And that was last year, but
yes.
It wasn't like we gave up on the season.
And I'll say this, Theron. I think the playoffs started for us, honestly, in week 7 of the regular season. So, we were 6-2, and then we had 2 games on the road. We had to win one of those road games. We would have been in the championship. To me, they were playoff games, and, it didn't work out. let's also take into consideration, last year the league only had 5 teams. So there really wasn't a playoff. There was a championship game.
Exactly.
But for me and the guys that played for us last year, I say us because you're your own team, we were in the playoffs, 3 weeks left in the regular season, every week.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, Coach, I'm glad to have you on the show. And what we're getting ready to do right now is we're getting ready to go into our talking about our team segment where we were supposed to have a drink. Danny didn't hook us up yet because I always have to have a drink when I talk about my Cowboys.
Depressing time.
So Alex talks about his Panthers. I give a spiel on how I feel about the Cowboys.
Okay.
I want you to talk about the Buffalo Bills.
I'll be happy to talk about the Buffalo
I'll
Bills.
let you go first.
We got a lot of good things to talk about.
Talk about those Bills, man.
So, look, this was the season, according to all the experts, that the Bills were supposed to have a down year. We lost Stephon Diggs. We lost Gabe Davis. We lost Tremaine Edmonds on defense. A bunch of guys that were, quote-unquote, the foundation of our franchise. We had Micah Hyde retire. Right. Jordan Poyer went to Miami. This is supposed to be an off year. So how do we respond to that? We win the division. I think we had won the division by week 11.
Yeah, it was
right. Our quarterback's playing at an MVP level. I know there's a lot of Lamar Jackson talk, Saquon Barkley. I'm happy to give either of those guys the MVP because we have bigger purpose in Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
I think this team is built to win the whole thing. I think you've got young guys and forgotten guys that are hungry and are playing with a chip on their shoulder. If you watch the way they play like a team. And guys, I think we all know this about football, whether it's indoor, outdoor. You need 2 main things to win in any level of football. You need a quarterback. You need an offensive line.
And the defense.
All right? Our quarterback doesn't hit the ground.
Right? No. Josh Allen, I keep talking about this every week in, week out. Alex, correct me if I'm wrong.
Right, go for it.
Josh Allen is one of those quarterbacks. He very rarely hits the ground because of his size. People don't realize how big this guy is.
6'5".
They don't understand how big he is. He's like the white Cam Newton.
Yes.
He's a big, fast, strong quarterback.
Yeah.
People, they don't understand how fast he is, how quick he is, and how good he views the field. They don't understand that. So I have a witness here, a true Buffalo Bills fan.
So excited. We're built for this. Our quarterback, no offers out of high school.
Yeah.
Right? You want to talk about chips on shoulders? No offers out of high school.
Yeah.
Goes and plays at Wyoming. Same kind of weather we're getting ready to play in Buffalo, right? Like you said, 6'5", big, durable. Doesn't hit the ground. Our offensive line does not let that man hit the ground. We talk about defense. Our defense, there's still some unanswered questions there. But frankly, if you're putting up 40, the best defense is a really good offense.
You're damn right.
And we're in an era where, scoring's prevalent in the NFL, right? So I'm excited. I can't wait to get the playoffs started. I feel like we're going to make this run and do what's long overdue. I've been a fan since the early 90s, late 80s. I'm overdue.
Well, I can tell you, Coach, you guys are playing another sleeper. Bo Nix has turned this Denver Broncos team around.
Absolutely.
I believe in Bo, but not in this game.
No.
I got Josh Allen in this game. But tell us about what you think about the way Denver has set themselves up to play Buffalo in this first round of the playoffs.
Well, I think first you got to look at their coach, Sean Payton. I mean, he's got, experience and pedigree bringing a team to the Super Bowl. He knows what that grind looks like.
Yeah.
I think you look back at last season, everybody says him and Russell Wilson had issues. I think the issue is Sean Payton likes who he likes, right? So he goes, he picks Bo Nix. That's his guy. He's invested in that guy. And, we can't deny. Look at where Bo was to start a season and how he's ending the season. That game against the Bengals, it was unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
And you got a rookie going up against an MVP candidate in Joe Burrow, and he goes toe-to-toe with him. And, again, we talk about defense. Denver's defense lights out. Surtain's an incredible corner.
Yes.
They've got some other young guys, Batonio, other guys that are on the team, unknowns that are just balling. And same concept, right? What do you need to have to win? Got to have a quarterback, got to have an offensive line. Bo Nix doesn't hit the ground either. He's just young, right? So
and he's a gunslinger.
And he's a gunslinger, right? And I think that works. So I'd be interested to see the kind of conversations we're having about Denver maybe 2-3 years down the road once Bo gets better and better. But in this game, he's coming to Buffalo. Home field advantage is a huge thing for us. that's where I feel we'll be able to come out on this thing on the other side on this thing with a win.
Well, the Buffalo Bills are 13-4, getting ready to play the Denver Broncos, who astonished everybody here, everybody in America with a 10-7 record and a fight towards the end of the season to make it to the playoffs with the player Bo Nix. Sunday at 1 p.m., we already know who TD has. We already know who Coach has.
Yeah.
I don't know if Locke is going to be.
I'm going with the Bills Mafia.
Okay.
100%.
All right.
Yep.
So
smart man.
Yeah, I'm going Bills Mafia on this one.
So Alex, tell us about how you feel the young guy, our guy at Carolina, has stepped up after his benching.
Yes, I mean that was
and turned things around.
That was a huge turning point. Kind of double-edged sword there, right? You sit out Bryce Young, you bring in our backup, who I thought
Andy Dalton.
I thought should have been the starter anyway from the beginning. He gets in a car accident, and we have to immediately call Bryce Young back in. And it was like he was baptized and rebirthed into the quarterback we see that's now, based off of last week, quarterback rating leads the league, right?
Yeah.
For the last 2 games, 10 touchdowns, multiple receptions, rushing yards, 0 interceptions. So I'm pleased with the play of Bryce Young. He's showing kind of like his college days a little bit, right? But it also, at the beginning of the season, we talked about why do NFL teams have such high expectations for rookie quarterbacks that don't even weigh 200 pounds.
Exactly.
Right? And they throw them in there and feed them to the Lions.
Yep.
In college, there's always a lopsided team because it's college. So sometimes you can only play who you have. In the NFL, they are all monsters. Everybody's running 4 flats, right?
Yeah.
In college, there's always there's a bunch of weak links in college, a ton of them. Yeah. That's why we watch college, because it's like, wow, somebody's going to take advantage of somebody.
Yeah.
NFL, not so much. And these franchises bring in these quarterbacks, they draft them in the first round and throw them out there and feed them to the Lions. And I think just him being able to slow down, and Andy Dalton he's not as big as he's not.
He's a very tall guy. He's 6'5".
Yeah, but I'm trying to think because when I stand beside Andy and then I stand beside your guy in Buffalo. He's Buffalo, my guy.
Andy's a lot slimmer than Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Josh
Allen is a massive man.
Yeah, so I met Josh in Arizona. He was taking his O-line out to dinner. And I looked up and I'm like, that's Josh Allen. And he just feels that presence I don't get at all with any other quarterback in the league. And like you said, it is reminiscent of Cam Newton. And all that to say, I'm proud of where the franchise is going. I wish we would have a record like a 10-7, or I would love to have. Hell, I'd love to have 6 and I'd love to have 6 wins. Period. Like I would love to have the enthusiasm and excitement that I see with a lot of teams that were counted out.
Yeah.
I'm going to be very honest and say we would be lucky to start off on fire next year. It's just how our organization works.
But you know what? I like your coach.
Yep.
Your coach is a developer of quarterbacks. He's an offensive-minded coach. And I think you made a really good point, Alex. A lot of these college quarterbacks, college players, you have one team that may be loaded, right? And then they're playing against guys who are going to be accountants, when school's over, right?
That's right.
And then when you go to the NFL, even your practice squad guys are top guys. They were top guys in college, right?
Right.
So there's no letdown, right? Everybody's a top-tier player or was, the premier player at their university, right? So I think the expectations, like we talked about in pre-show, is you put these young guys who have never played in an NFL game and you expect them to carry your franchise out the gate. And you also got to look at who are you surrounding them with to do that, right? So, no disrespect to the front office of the Panthers, but you didn't give Bryce Young the weapons to be great.
No.
Or the line, right? So this is what happens, right? Look at a guy like Sam Darnold, right? He's terrible for 5 years, right? Now he goes to Minnesota, gets with a coach that believes with him, surround him with talent. There you go.
Yep.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to talk about my Cowboys for a few minutes, and that's only because we haven't gotten our drinks yet. I don't know what Danny's doing, but I hope the Dallas front office, I hope Jerry Jones understands that having a Mike McCarthy is beneficial. However, we have to find a way to get the young offensive linemen that we spent millions and millions of dollars on this year to understand how to run block. I said it over and over and over again. Our line does not run block worth a damn. We except for Zach Martin, who's the true veteran on the team on that O-line, we see BB get caught up as he tries to pull. I mean, it's hard for a center to snap and then pull or snap the football and then try to pick up from where a guard left. And I understand that, but he does that too many times and has too many of our offensive run plays blown up at the line of scrimmage. We've got the young boy from Oklahoma, great pass blocker. However, when he has to pull, when he has to get out, we've seen it time and time again. He just misses guys. And it frustrates me because we spent so much money on those young offensive line to take care of Dak Prescott, which, by the way, he is looking to be ready 100% by the time minicamp starts. Or Cooper Rush, or Trey Lance, who's ever at quarterback. We spent too much money for guys to just be able to pass block, which they're great at.
But so I always want to ask a Cowboy fan this.
Go ahead.
Do you believe in those three guys that you just named, any of them at quarterback?
I do.
Okay.
I do. For me,
he does. He really does. Yeah.
For me, and this is my thing. This is my thing. I believe in Dak Prescott to a point.
Okay.
Why? Because he's a game manager. He's a great game manager, but he's a game manager. He's not a gunslinger. Even though Mike McCarthy tries to make him out to be that way, and it hurts us every time because we're like 19-6 when Dak Prescott has to throw more than 40 times a game.
Right.
Dak Prescott is hot when we have a good first drive. The two first drive, we have to score those two first drives. Right. And then he does a good job of managing the game to make sure that Dallas stays on top. Because if you notice, every time Dallas has had a lead, we haven't lost much.
Yeah.
Even with the miserable home record that we had this year, right? So I believe in Dak Prescott to a point.
Okay.
Cooper Rush, I mean, he's a backup quarterback. He did what backup quarterbacks are supposed to do. However, if it was me, and I actually saw training camp this year in Dallas, Trey Lance is a better quarterback than Cooper Rush.
Okay.
He's more athletic. He's faster. He's stronger. The only thing that Trey Lance lacks is the ability that Cooper Rush has to get rid of the ball quickly.
Okay.
That is the only thing that I like about Cooper Rush. So, yeah, I believe in those three to a point, and I believe that it will get better because now we saw in these last 6, 7, 8 games, Rico Dowdle get the ball like he's supposed to get the ball.
Right.
That is the key. You get that guy the ball, and he gets 110, 120, maybe like the last, not the last game, but the game before that, where 141 yards on 22 carries.
So here's the problem, in my opinion.
Go ahead.
When you give a quarterback $261 million, he doesn't think he's a game manager.
I understand.
So until you get Dak to agree to be a game manager, because here's something that people may have a tough time absorbing, but it's the truth. The best game manager of all time is Tom Brady.
He wasn't a gunslinger.
He wasn't a gunslinger.
He was a game
manager.
Yes.
Made sure they didn't turn the ball over. Utilized whatever assets they surrounded him with. They ran the ball. Patriots have always had a good running game when Tom Brady was quarterback, right?
And a good defense.
If you look at Dak Prescott, first of all, I don't think he's healthy, right? Since that injury. He's not a runner. He shouldn't be scrambling. Yeah. So you have to build a running game around him. The Cowboys abandoned the running game for the first 7 games of the season.
God almighty, did they?
So I think you're right. I think you hit everything on point. You spend all this money on a line then you better teach him how to run block.
Hello.
Damn right.
And respect, all respect to Rico Dowdle, go get a running back. Rico Dowdle's not a feature back in my opinion.
You don't think so?
Not long term.
Okay. What qualities does he have to not make you think that he's a long-term running back?
I mean, I think you look at running backs with a position of running back in the NFL as a whole. Mm-hmm. How many feature backs are there truly? Saquon, Derrick Henry, maybe Kyron Williams in LA. A lot of these systems are two-back systems, right? You look at like Tennessee, they got Pollard and Sharp.
You just mentioned something.
Yeah.
Dallas needs a good two-back system.
Absolutely.
They need a quality two-back. And not
Zeke Elliott was not the answer.
No, he was not. And again, it's the ability to get those drives going, and the linemen blocking those plays.
Yep.
We have plays. I said long time ago. I said this a couple of years back. Dallas's run game went to the crapper when they stopped providing a fullback or a flex tight end motion in the backfield to block for Ezekiel Elliott or whoever their feature
and
back
I think
was.
they got enamored with the smaller back, right?
Yeah.
Like Tony Pollard is a smaller back.
Yeah.
Then they got Rico Dowdle, smaller back. You look at Buffalo, we talk about my team, we got 4 running backs, right?
Yeah.
We got James Cook, Ray Davis, Ty Johnson, and we got Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Right? You look at the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Justice Hill. These are teams where they have basically it's a running system.
That's right.
And so when I look at Dallas, I think your quarterback can't move like he used to since he had that bad leg injury a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Let's put a couple of quality backs back there and teach guys how to run. Now you can run off play action. Now you get CD Lamb in space. The dude's unbelievable.
Yes.
Imagine if the Cowboys had a running game that you had to compensate for.
Yes.
What CD Lamb could do. Look at the numbers he's putting up without a running game.
Right. Exactly.
Imagine what happens after that.
Imagine
Also,
if they took
Coach-
Derrick Henry.
Right.
Exactly.
They were supposed to take
That
Derrick
we were
Henry.
supposed to get Derrick
Yes,
Henry.
like-
Also, Alex and I talked about how this year, the games that Dallas won, we had to get all of the boxes checked on the bingo card.
Mm-hmm.
We had special teams play, which our special teams has stepped up tremendously. We had to have defensive play.
Yep.
The young lion stepped up. DeMarcus was hurt
Love
a lot
that
of the year.
the linebacker Overshown.
Yeah,
Love him.
Overshawn. Oh, he's hurt, but he'll be ready
be
for
back.
minicamp. And on the defensive end of the Cowboys, one of the things I touched on last week was that the difference between the Cowboys this year and if you're listening, you heard this on the show last week. The difference between the Cowboys from this year to last year is Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn made sure that those DBs did not do stupid stuff every game.
Right.
Dan Quinn is a DB coach's disciplinary type coach.
Yep.
He's a defensive coach. He cares about his coverages. He cares about technique in coverages, which he went over extensively in Dallas last year.
Yeah.
That's why DeRon Bland led the NFL in pick sixes with 7 of them last year.
Yeah.
That's why.
You lost 2 coordinators. You lost Quinn to the Commanders. Then you lost Kellen Moore. He went to the Chargers, right?
Yeah.
You lost your OC DC.
Yeah.
You have to replace that. And then
I really didn't care about Kellen Moore. He wasn't a good play caller to me.
But
We did too much.
He said
We
to
did
me.
too much.
did McCarthy call plays this year? Or do you have an OC?
We had a OC.
Yeah.
So the thing that I pointed on about Dan Quinn is that if we had Dan Quinn, we wouldn't do so much stupid stuff. Like last week, I broke the remote control. I broke the remote control because DeRon Bland sat there on the 11-yard line with his heels locked,
Right.
knowing it was going to be a fade. Coach, you're a coach. What do you tell your DB when you know it's going to be a fade?
If
You
I
lock
know
him,
it's,
you
lock
go
him,
hip to hip,
take
and
him-
then you turn into the receiver.
Yeah. And I would say, use the sideline of your advantage. Let's just
Exactly.
make him catch it out of bounds. Yeah.
That was the worst
Yeah.
defensive single play that I've seen in NFL history.
So just knowing your football career, I think you're mad because you're a football player. So you.
I am mad because I'm a former player, but I'm extremely irate because I'm a former coach, and as a former defensive coach, that loves coaching DBs.
Right.
That drove me crazy.
But you know what? I also think that the Cowboys have a habit of picking DBs that are feast or famine, right? So you'll get a guy like Deron Bland that'll have 7 picks. Trevon Diggs will have 7, 8 picks. You'll break records for interceptions, right? But those stats disguise their coverage abilities, right?
Yeah.
You can make 8 plays in a game and they could be 8 interceptions. Well, there's 150 plays over the course of the season, right?
Yeah.
So I think you got to look at things. I agree. I think losing Dan Quinn was huge.
Yeah.
I like Kellen more as an OC in comparison to whoever you had. I thought McCarthy had actually taken over play calling. I think the thing with you said it in the beginning, man, is Jerry's got to do this, Jerry's going to do that. You could tell Jerry all the things in the world. Jerry's going to do what Jerry wants to do.
He's not going to hear any of us, and I know he's definitely not watching this show. So that was talking about our teams, man. Yeah. Coming up next, we'll be doing our Week 18 recap. Again, congratulations, Alex, for winning the week.
Yeah. Thank you.
I thought I won something. My bad. Let me shake your hand.
Congratulations, man. Alex won the 2025 Office Pool regular season.
I did.
And now it's time to get it in the playoffs and put our big boy pants on to win that Office Pool Cup.
That's right.
So coming up right after our Week 18 recap, we will be right back, and we will be getting into our playoff picks, and we're going to have Coach give us his playoff picks as well.
We can already guess he's going to run the table with the Bills Mafia.
All right. You darn right.
That's right, man. Yeah. I'm TD.
Hey, it's your boy Locke, and we got the coach
we'll be right back.
All right.
All right.
I got 20 on my feet. I got 20 on my feet.
Rashad Evans, Quentin Rampage Jackson, main event of the
Out of you, Rashad. Come on now. I'm gonna beat
You don't believe that. You don't believe that, do you?
I know it. I'm gonna beat the brakes off.
Let me tell you what.
You have no idea, man.
Say what?
You have no idea.
What I don't know about? What I don't know
You have
about?
no idea.
What I don't know about? Please tell me something.
You're gonna learn pretty soon.
Please
man.
tell me something.
You're gonna learn real fast.
I can fight you with your style and still beat your ass.
big control. Rampage looking to close it up. Rashad caught Rampage with a right hand.
I want to run it back.
You want to fight him again?
Yeah, shit. Why
In
not?
MMA or boxing?
A get back is a get. I think a get back is a get back. So I don't care if it's boxing or MMA. I need to get that win back.
Nobody pray for me. It been that day for me. Yeah, yeah.
For my friend, Theron Davis. Shoe reveal. That's the box cover. What? So we got to open this up. We got to open this up and see what we're talking about. Look at the box. Ooh. Made in Italy. All right now. Well, it ain't but one shoe in here. No, just joking. It's just joking. Okay. Oh, man. What? This is the shoe. I'll be flying aerodynamically as we do the show. I think I should put one. I think I should put one on. Okay. Let me see if I can get my foot in here. Oh, I like it. Bro.
Oh yeah.
You like? Remember, y'all saw it first here. Red bottoms, everything, and it's designer.
I got 20 on my feet.
Your number one choice for Vibe Dining is now located at 223 South Elm Street, Prime, where they've turned fine dining into Vibe Dining.
Welcome back. As you can see, we have
been blessed.
We've been blessed by our
mixologist,
Danny Medea here at Prime. If you haven't noticed, we are live at Prime. You can hear the jazz in the background. You can see some of the patrons walking. It's a beautiful vibe, man. So, Alex, tell us about this drink, man.
I mean, this, my friend, is an espresso martini with a hint of caramel for some, caramel for others. That is one of those tug-of-war words that people play with.
Yeah.
But Danny, our mixologist, is not the one to play with. When it comes to drinks, top notch. Again, probably the finest mixologist east of the Mississippi.
Yes.
Any other bar you go to, they've got these syrups that they bought from a Total Wine, and they pour all these different syrups and all this gluten. These guys here, I've seen them in the kitchen. If you want strawberry, they're in there mashing the strawberry syrup, and they're making the strawberry syrup. You want blueberry? Please believe they were picked off a farm, and I'm not talking about your player farm. Okay, everything here is from farm to table, including your drinks here at Prime. And I can't wait to take a first sip. He drank his.
Well, Coach has already had his.
He had bourbon.
Right, he had his bourbon. But
and I'll speak to what you just said, Alex. So Lauren, our director of operations, is with me. She got the blueberry drink, and it looked like they literally picked it out of the
Yes,
car.
that's right. Yes,
it's incredible.
Yes,
it's
incredible.
Yes. It's incredible. So Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Alex. Happy New Year. So let's get ready to get into our wild card week.
After I take a sip of my drink.
I think I'll go ahead and take mine too. I'll pull my mic away just a bit.
Wowzers. And that's what I'm talking about. Like you don't get an experience like this when you go to a bar. Like,
yeah, that is
outrageous, man. That is outrageously good.
Danny, you did it again, brother.
That is outrageously good.
So if you don't know at home, we got Coach Negron with us, and he is going to do his wild card picks with Alex and I.
Here we go.
Yeah.
And here we go. Game number 1. First game is going to be on Saturday, January 11th at 4:30 p.m. We have the Chargers visiting the Texans. And I think I'm by myself on this one. I got the Texans by myself.
Yeah, you're on an island out there. When I heard Coach make his pick, I'm like, oh.
So
that's how my season is going.
All right, so I'll give my spiel.
All by yourself.
And CJ Stroud, man, you cannot
Let's hear it.
say anything bad about him because he is a fighter, right?
Yeah.
He's a gunslinger, a young gunslinger that I love. I love doing that effect every time we talk about those young guys, man. But he has the everything around him to beat the Chargers in this first round. And I think that I know it's more than just CJ Stroud, but with the absence, Tank Dell is hurt again. Their number 1 receiver, Stephon Diggs. They've had guys that had to step up.
Right.
And they've done a super job of doing that and coming ready for this first wild card game. And they couldn't have got a better opponent. Yeah. Anybody else, I wouldn't have picked the Texans. Right. But the Chargers, I believe the Texans are going to get them. Tell me about yours, Coach.
I went with the Chargers, right? I also love C.J. Stroud. I think he's going through a little bit of a sophomore slump. I think they are a team with a lot of talent, but like you said, there's a ton of injuries. Diggs, Tank Dell, that injury was gruesome that he had.
Yeah.
So when you have a game like this, and Chargers got injuries too. Let's not forget that. But I think when you look at a game like this, it comes down to coaching and kind of what their blueprint is. I think the Chargers are a run-first team, despite having Justin Herbert. And I'm Jim Harbaugh. He's been here before.
Can't forget the Harbaugh brothers.
Knows how to win big games. So I just think the fact too, they always say those West Coast teams don't travel well. Traveling to Houston and playing indoors, it's not a weather game.
It's not
right.
Yeah.
So I just like the Chargers. I think it's gonna be a gritty game. I think it's gonna be probably one of the more physical games of the playoffs. But I like the Chargers coming out on top.
All right, Alex, is on you.
So again, I love C.J. Stroud. I do. This season, I have not been convinced that he's the guy that's going to get it done, especially at this moment, right? If he couldn't get it done in regular season when I needed him to, when I picked him week after week, it's hard for me to.
But he's in the playoffs.
He is in the playoffs. However, like Coach said, this is a big game and a big stage. And now it comes down to, it's not just on Stroud's shoulders. We're talking about, we got some guys, the coach, it plays a major role in this. The fact that they're in a dome plays a major role in this. The fact that you've got more veterans on the Chargers side of the game in coaching, in special teams, and receiving core, and consistency leading up to this. I'm looking at the consistency. I'm looking at the trajectory, right, of the Chargers. Don't see them stopping, not by the Titans.
All right, you heard it live. Yeah. I'm by myself. I have the Texans alone. Yeah. Coach has the Chargers. Alex has the Chargers. Let's move the game. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Let's move the game number 2, which is a primetime game on a Saturday, 8 p.m. in Baltimore. The weather's going to be that's going to be perfect football weather. We got the Steelers coming in town for that first AFC wild card game. We all have the Ravens. The reasons why I have 2 reasons why I have the Ravens.
Okay.
Actually, I have 3 reasons.
Okay.
Derrick Henry.
Okay.
Derrick Henry.
Okay.
And Derrick Henry.
Okay. Fire.
How about you, Coach?
So I have 4 reasons.
Okay.
Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry. Lamar Jackson.
Ooh. That's correct.
Wow.
I just think the Ravens, they're playing a different level right now. Steelers are going into the playoffs on a losing streak. Lamar Jackson's probably going to win the MVP. And then Derrick Henry is just ridiculous. It's a man amongst boys.
Yeah.
Which should have been in Dallas.
And
I'm going to say that every time we talk about it.
I told you Jerry's going to do it his way.
Yep.
How about you, Alex?
I've got 3 reasons, but I got 3 letters. MVP. Right now, Lamar Jackson is putting his team on his back like an extra pair of shoulder pads. This guy, you can count on, right? And he's smartened up in a way, and you can tell. We talk about game management and things like that. I feel that Lamar held back a lot. I think he did just enough to get to this level. And I think what we're about to see in this playoff is I think he's going to flip a switch. I'm going on record, he's going to flip a switch, and he's going to blow our mind this weekend and all the way up to when he meets the Bills.
Well, and I'll tell you this, Alex, if you think that Lamar hasn't flipped the switch yet, and he's putting up the numbers he put up without flipping the switch,
trust me,
then I can only imagine what this
guy,
look like.
I
can only imagine.
Dude, everything's been on cruise control. Like I've seen, when you're watching him, he's really been super poised. And I haven't even seen that monster in his eyes yet. That's what I'm saying. It's going to go down, brother.
All right. So let's move on to game number 3, Sunday, January 12th, 1 p.m. in Buffalo. Coach, I already know.
Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen. Of course, Coach has Buffalo. Alex and I both have Buffalo.
Yeah.
My spiel, Josh Allen.
We
talked about him in the first segment, man. He is a man of a beast of a quarterback. Period.
That's good enough reason.
They don't let him get sacked. He makes his way out of the pocket when he has to.
Mm-hmm.
He gets those runs, gets on the ground, so he preserves himself. And don't sleep on it, because you might mess around and get trucked.
Yeah. He keeps a stiff arm.
Yeah. So Josh Allen is my reason that the Buffaloes are going to take on and defeat a very good Broncos team, which like I said before, they amazed everybody. They surprised everybody.
Except for this guy.
We weren't talking about the Denver Broncos making the playoffs by week 4, week 5, especially week 1. They got a 70 burger put on them by Miami.
Right.
So we wouldn't even think about that. So congratulations to my man Bo Nix. However, I don't see Bo knowing how to win that game in Buffalo. What about you, Coach?
How much time I got?
You got plenty of time, man. We got plenty of time.
Look, it's a home game, right? And I think when there's absolutely home field advantage when you're playing in Buffalo, right? Barring Lamar Jackson statistics, how anyone could think that Josh Allen is not the MVP of the league is beyond me.
Yeah.
He's doing a ton with what is perceived as less because of how much we lost in the offseason, right?
Yeah, I get that.
And then, look, everything you said about Denver, absolutely correct. The lights get brighter when you're in the playoffs, right?
Exactly.
You could speak to that in the NFL. You could speak to that in the NAL. It's different when you're in the postseason. It's a rookie quarterback. You got to go through your initiation. You got the team there. Nobody expected you to be there. Right. A lot of times when you're a rookie, that's kind of you get satisfied, right? I got him there, right? Now you get hit with this buzzsaw when you go to Buffalo. I think the game's going to be competitive. I don't think Denver's just going to lay down and we're going to blow them out. I think weather's going to factor into it. Yeah. And Denver is a cold weather team, so they're going to be able to participate in the game and play hard and compete. But I like my team to come out on top in the end.
Yeah, and I'm with Coach here. Toe-to-toe, this is going to be one of the most watched games, right? Just from a fanatic standpoint, right? Everybody's going to be watching games, but this one here, it's going to be one of those ones where, and I say most watched, meaning it's not going to get lopsided early. I see Ravens game maybe getting lopsided. That Chargers game, out of control, lopsided. This particular game, I really see it coming down to a death match and someone laying down the death blow. Whoever makes the mistakes is going to lose this game, right? I'm going with the Bills for a lot of reasons. They haven't been making mistakes. These guys are solid. They're consistent. They have a plan. They stick to the plan, and they dominate on both sides of the ball. You talk special teams for your Cowboys. These guys are not missing opportunities, and that's why I'm going with the Buffalo Bills, and I've become a huge fan. And like I said, after seeing Josh in person, I've been a fan ever since because I just whoa, that's the quarterback. And I was like, whoa. And that for me, ever since then, and that was in Arizona last year.
All right, let's move on to game number 4, Sunday, January 12th, 4:30. It looks like I'm on an island again.
Jesus.
I love to be on an island. If you can get the wordplay that I'm about to use here, my reason for the Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love. You can't say enough about this young man, and he's a gunslinger.
He is. Light it up.
He's going to put the Packers in a situation. Just think of, you saw what he did last year, first round of playoffs against the Cowboys. That was ridiculous. He was making Aaron Rodgers type throws. He was making those big plays. However, this may be as far as the Packers go, but I see them playing spoiler again, just like they did last year with the Cowboys against the Eagles here. And also, there's also, talks about Jalen Hurts not being able to play because he's still on concussion protocol. So that's my spiel.
Okay.
That's my island, guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're on an island.
I'm on an island again.
Yeah.
My reasoning would be twofold. One, yes, there's the concern about Jalen Hurts and him getting out of concussion protocol, although I had heard on one of the ESPN shows that he had a good practice during the week, that he was starting to come out of it. But my other reason is the same reason you have. It's Jordan Love. He's turnover prone.
Yeah.
Vic Fangio is a hell of a defensive coordinator. Philadelphia's got the best defense in the league. They've got dogs in that secondary. They pressure the quarterback. I just feel like the advantage is the Eagles are at home. Great defense. And if you look at the Packers roster and the Eagles roster, there's a lot of even matchups, right? You've got Saquon Barkley. Don't sleep on Josh Jacobs, right? So those two guys kind of offset. Then you look at the receiving cores. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. On the other side, you've got guys like Jaden Reed. You've got Romeo Doubs. The tight ends match, Tucker Kraft. You got Dallas Goedert, and they've got that new, I think it's Grant Caltasera or something like that.
Yep.
So now, where do you go? Now you go to defense.
Yeah.
Right? Eagles defense is
Number
unreal,
one.
man.
Yep.
So I think this is probably going to be a surprise to a lot of people in terms of the score. A lot of people would assume because of Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts, that this would be blow. I think the defenses really play up this game, and that's why I'm picking the Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah.
What say you, Mr.
I mean, it's
Lockhart?
not much to say because that's exactly that's how I'm looking at it, right? I'm looking at this one of all the games. This would be the lower scoring game, right? Because we know that the defense is going to come down again to mistakes, right? And when you look at this defense of the Philadelphia Eagles, it's kept them in games, right? It's kept them close enough to where they can make some magic happen, right? And barring the concussion protocol, I said this in a pregame show, they can win without Jalen Hurts, and they've proven that. So that's another reason. Like I'm thinking, like either way it goes, if they just decide to run only, they can beat the Packers. In my personal opinion, if they just run only, you know what, we're gonna just run.
Jalen Hurts ain't playing, and Kenny Pickett's playing. They're probably going to
got to run.
Yeah,
and then the home field advantage, guys. When you're in the back end of the season, and you're in these playoff situations, like you said, in any sport, it could be hockey, it could be soccer, it could be baseball. If you're at home in these high intense situations, and I travel with teams, and I'm telling you, the right city, especially when you're talking about Philadelphia. Philly's not going to let the visiting team sleep that night. They're outside. The fire department's outside. They're lighting the hotel room up. Yeah. They're going to make it tough for this team to come in and get some sleep, let alone be comfortable, right? So there's a lot of factors at play when the stakes are this high. I'm definitely going with the Eagles because they fly the highest on this one.
All right, let's go to game number 5. This is our Sunday primetime. We have the Commanders visiting the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Yeah.
The Commanders are in a great situation. Coach, it looks like you're on an island on this one.
Yeah.
Alex and I both have the Commanders, and we probably have the Commanders for the same reason. We both got a chance to see the Commanders in training camp with our guy, Martavis Bryant, was there. And I saw that I didn't see. Now I see the maturation process of Terry McLaurin. I see the maturation process of Olamide Zaccheaus being those two playmakers at receiver. And you can't forget Mr. Daniels.
Yeah.
His rookie year, it's been phenomenal. And you saw that in training camp. These guys weren't walking around screw face. They were laughing. They were smiling. Training camp was a fun time for them to learn Dan Quinn's system. And they've used every opportunity to show that they deserve to be in the playoffs this year after so many years of tanking in the NFC East.
Yeah.
So that's my spiel. The reason why Cowboys fans, I know, but we're not in it. So we gotta pick somebody. So I've got the Commanders, man, over the Buccaneers, man. What about you, Coach? I know you got the Bucs.
You know, just listening to you, this is tough. This is a tough island for me to be on because you're right. I mean, the Commanders are a different team. You know, new coach, Jaden Daniels, different dude. Terry McLaurin looks. I mean, everything you said points to the Commanders winning. I would say that the thing with the Bucs, man, is Baker Mayfield plays with a chip on his shoulder
every day,
every single
every
day,
game,
right? Even now that he's been paid, and I mean, he's clearly the leader of the team. You know, from a quarterback standpoint, he's still playing with a chip.
Right.
I love Mike Evans. You know, I think Mike Evans is probably the most underrated receiver.
Yes.
11 years.
He's gonna get to 1,000 every year.
It's like clockwork. Man.
He's like Captain 1,000.
It's a guaranteed touchdown.
Yes.
It's a guaranteed 1,000 yards every year. So, you know, they have some pieces. Again, a lot of times I lean towards, you know what, they're playing at home.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't think the Bucs are a fluke. I think they won the division. If the Falcons would have won the division and been in the playoffs and this was at Atlanta, I'd pick the Commanders to blow Atlanta out, right? I think the Bucs are a gritty, competitive team. That's another one of these games I think is going to go down to the wire. And I'd rock with Baker Mayfield in the last minute of a game to win a football game.
Yeah. And so this island that you're on is not a bad island to be on. Right. I'll tell you that right now. I didn't know that they were playing at home. I mean, maybe I knew, but at the time when I was making my decision, I was like,
slipped your mind.
I slipped my mind, right? I did mine solely off the fact of me watching this Commanders team and seeing the receivers. They have an internal competition amongst each other. They all want to be great, and they're all making each other great, right? And they're all going for the gusto. And you can tell that they don't want to be denied. You saw that in that Hail Mary game. You know, I mean, a team like that is going to play when there's 3 seconds on the clock and have confidence in a young quarterback like that. After that, I was like, these guys are locked in. Because think about the mental, like just to be that strong to be like, all right, guys, we're going to suit up and we're going to try and get a Hail Mary. And you're like, yeah, with a better quarterback, you're like, yeah, we can do this. We've done it before. No, never done it before. Practice, yes, right? But you've never done it before, and you count on this guy to do it, and they all come out, and they do it, and they do it by the book. I mean, by the book. They go down and they execute that play. After that, I've been watching the Commanders team with a different scope, and I've seen them get better and better each game. And the fact that the quarterback got the rest this past week, the fact that I didn't know about the travel schedule, but the fact that I just feel like the momentum right now is on their side. It is going to be a tough matchup, but I don't think Tampa Bay is going to be able to pull it off if they get behind.
So let me ask you both this, because you're both locked in. You both said you went to training camp with. Is Cliff Kingsbury auditioning for a job this weekend?
I believe he is.
Wow.
I believe he is. You know, when you talk about Cliff Kingsbury and what he's done for that organization, you know, last year we was not talking about the Washington Commanders.
Not at all.
No,
not anything good anyway.
The last 10 years we were not talking about.
Yeah, the last 10 years.
10 years, bro.
We have
10 years.
Yeah. So he's definitely auditioning, and I know Dan Quinn will give him his blessing.
Right.
You know, because Dan Quinn is that guy last year in Dallas that got the blessing of Mike McCarthy.
Right.
So I believe that this is his.
So
audition.
that could go either way, right?
Yeah.
We from a coaching perspective, who wants to see coaches, you know, elevate and get back on their path, right? I would love to see them, you know, blow it out, right? Because Cliff Kingsbury, just from an offensive coach, because I'm an offensive-minded coach. That's one of those coaches that I have a huge respect for, right?
Yeah.
So, of course, want him to do great. Could also press, right? You're pressing. You got eyes on you, right? Now, I think he's been in this game long enough that he knows how to get his mind right to coach a game. But, you know, those are some of the things I look at. You know, let's hope he's vested, right? Because if you're getting job offers, you may be thinking about the better deal. Again, these are pro coaches. I hope they don't think like that. But
you know, we talked in the pre-show, just all the behind-the-scenes things you think about when you're making picks.
That's right.
These are some of the things I think about, too, when I'm making picks.
Yeah, it's a cozy island to be on. Like I said, that was one of those ones you flip the coin.
Yeah, you have good. I was out by myself on the Packers, Eagles, and the Chargers
for no reason whatsoever.
Out in the cold.
Yeah.
However, I'm going to stand by my picks. Okay.
There you go.
Let's move on to our last game, which is a Monday night game. This is actually our first primetime pick of the week for a Monday night game.
That's right.
Sponsored by Prime.
Lovely.
223 South Elm Street in Greensboro, North Carolina. Right now, if you can see, you can hear in the background, we are live. We have the beautiful people out here. We have everybody here showing, and it's a great scenery. As Alex likes to say, this is vibe dining.
Yes.
So let's get into our primetime pick of the week. We have the Vikings going back to Cali to the Rams.
That's right.
We've all it's unanimous. It's unanimous, right? So we have we've got the Vikings, the Minnesota Vikings, my former employee, my former employer rather. I've got the Vikings 24-21, right? I see that offense. I see Justin Jefferson not being challenged the way he's been challenged all year and still being successful. The Rams, on the other hand, yes, they have Puka Nacua back healthy, and they've actually challenged a lot of those just people just to talk. People been talking all year. Will the Rams be as good as they ever were when they were playoff ready, Super Bowl ready? I believe this Rams team has the capabilities to, but they will not beat Minnesota. What about you, Coach?
So I look at the Rams and the Texans almost the same. Somebody had to win their respective divisions, right?
Well
so Texans won their division by default. We can look at the other three teams in that division. Who else is going to win that? That was a mess. Rams, same thing. Seattle was a little bit more competitive, but the 49ers, huge off year with all the injuries. Arizona's not there yet.
Yeah.
So 10-7, you're in, right? You got a Super Bowl winning quarterback, Matt Stafford. You got a Super Bowl winning coach in Sean McVay. You got, like you said, Puka Nacua. You got Cooper Kupp, although I think he's on the decline. He's taking a lot of hits, made a lot of catches. So let's look at the defensive side of the ball. You don't have Aaron Donald anymore.
Nope.
Right? I'll be honest.
That's one of my reasons for
not. There's not a lot of guys on the Rams defense I can name right now. And I know we saw the Vikings lay an egg against Detroit the last game of the season, and everybody's going to hang the hat on. Yeah, newsflash, Detroit's really good.
They are.
So I don't know what everybody's expecting. The Vikings defense is legit. B-Flow is a hell of a defensive coordinator. They do some really creative things defensively where they show blitzes, drop guys into coverage. You got different guys coming at the quarterback all different times. Justin Jefferson is top 3 receiver in the league. It's not even a question. And Sam Darnold is balling. He had a bad game against Detroit. Look at his stats. You could easily include him in some of the MVP conversations just from a statistical standpoint. Vikings are going to win this game. Your former employer is going to make you very proud. It's just again, for all of you guys that jumped off the Vikings because they lost to Detroit, just watch the game. 30-27. 30-27.
Okay. What say you, Mr. Lockhart?
I said 28-21. I'm going with the Vikings as well. I'm doing this one based off statistics, right? I mean, again, everyone watched that Detroit game. I actually picked Minnesota over Detroit just to kind of shake things up. I had already won the season. I was like, I'm going to pick Minnesota, right? And then I looked at it, I was like, ooh, this was bad, right? However, we know what Minnesota Vikings are capable of. And to your point, Detroit, they're really good.
They're really good. They're really, really good.
But I'm hands down, it's Minnesota Vikings on this one. The Rams won't have enough.
Yeah.
They will not have enough at home against the Vikings. It's just not going to happen. Vikings, I mean, you look at both sides of the Vikings team. Solid.
Yeah.
Absolutely solid.
Yeah.
Absolutely solid. Yeah. I cannot name anybody on the defensive side for the Rams.
No.
At all.
No.
Like at all.
No.
Right? I just tried to, and I know I can't.
They got one young kid. His last name is Verse, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Beyond that, I can't.
Yeah, and Jefferson played in our celebrity flag football game, and we were in Arizona. The dude is so fast, and that year they didn't get in. Ever since then, they've been knocking on the door.
Yeah.
And you know how you meet somebody. Anytime you meet an athlete, you kind of get their energy. You can kind of tell, okay, star power. This guy, star power. And the stages like this for him, for a young kid like this, oh man. And you know, you see him frustrated when he doesn't get the ball, but I don't see that happening this weekend. I think we're going to see a lights out game. I should have went a little higher, but I went 28-21. And I think we're all going to figure out pretty well.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, the Vikings defense is good.
He stole that from me, by the way.
Stole what?
Yeah, the 28-21. That's my go-to over pick.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, I've been doing that all year. But hey, that's our primetime picks of the week.
You could have still picked 28-21.
It's okay. No, that could be a tiebreaker. In case we have a tie.
No, we're not. We're on an island with 2 games.
Anyway, that's our primetime pick of the week. These are our NFL wildcard picks. Man, thank you, Coach, for coming out, man.
Oh, yeah.
I hope to have you on the show back again.
I'd love to.
Alex, man.
Yeah, great job.
Thank you, sir.
Great job.
Thank you, everybody at Prime. You know, we've got a great.
Everybody at Prime.
There we go. Thank you. Appreciate you.
We got Street King in the building.
That's awesome.
So we're gonna say goodbye, and we'll see you next week.
That's right.
You know, thank you, Prime. Thank you, Stoners Jeans. You didn't get a chance to see us on the big board this week. However, believe me, Alex and I are rocking our Stoners.
Rocking my Stoners. I got the denim with the black wax.
Yeah, the black wax denim is awesome.
Never heard of it before.
These are the most comfortable. Coach, these are the most comfortable jeans you'll ever.
Do I rock them in game? Does it work?
No, they won't work in the game.
We have to find something different.
Yeah. So, thank you, Prime.
Thank you, Prime.
Thank you, Stoners. Thank you, Producer 20. Thank you, Alex Lockhart and Alex ENT. Thank you, 83 Sports. Thank you, Jacob Sports, Jacob Media. We didn't do a no-brainer pick of the week because we didn't have one.
Yeah, this
but
is not
Wave Rideshare.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steele. And we'll be right back. We'll be back next week.
Next week, yeah, we're gonna
see who won between the three of us.
That's right.
For our wild card picks. I'm TD.
Hey, Alex and the coach right here. Tell him.
And we're saying thank you and see you next week. Have a blessed one. For he's a jolly good fellow. All right, so let's go. The Office Pool, episode 15, segment 1. You know she didn't wait for me to say take one. We got it. Yeah. That's hot, bro. Did you like the sound effects?
Yes.
Yes. The sound effect. So we'll be right back after these messages with some recap for week 15. Only on the Office Pool. We'll be right back. Wowzer.
Look, it does. Look, it does. Look, it does.
And the background was
Okay, we'll stay right where we at.
Live at the Space Center and then be in Greensboro. Same episode.
Okay, all right, here we go.
We gotta ride it out. You don't have me.
Shut up. The Office Pool. Episode 12. Week 12. Week 12 NFL picks with Alex and TD. Take one.